I'm talking about Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius. This is our last Mercury retrograde of 2024. Hallelujah. Now, Mercury retrograde is nothing to fear, but I do want people to be prepared because it does go in the pre-shadow. That is the 2 weeks before the actual retrograde, right? That's the 25th. Yes, I can't read my own sign. So we can start feeling the energy around the 7th, all right? And the 25th is right before Thanksgiving, so a lot of people will be traveling. So if you have any travel plans, just keep in mind that maybe you experience some delays. There's Fred. Hey, Fred. It will go direct on the 15th. Then it goes into the post-shadow, right? So this is the pre-shadow and the post-shadow. It will be in the post-shadow till the 2nd. Now, this is not to say that you're going to be like, oh my gosh, it drags on. But we could still experience the hiccups of the retrograde in the pre and the post, all right? So after it hits the 2nd, I'm like smooth sailing. But we are starting the new year off with a Mars retrograde, but more about that later, okay? Hey, Jules. That's a tale for another time. I don't even want to get into that. The new year is not a time to just launch into things, right? Because we're going to be having that slow retrograde, especially with Mars. Mars is all about action, right? What else? I said action, aggression, assertion, ambition. And with Mars retrograde, it's going to be like, Yes, Desiree is right. Spring. Okay, so a lot of people believe that the new year really starts at Aries season because that's spring. That's when we are having a new cycle. This is actually, yes, because Mercury is in detriment in Sagittarius, and then it'll be retrograde. So I just want everyone to be prepared. All right, I'm going to start because I don't know, I'll just start. Mercury is getting micro braids. I don't know how I feel about that. All right, this is the final retrograde, like I said, of 2024. It's the end, Elfin, hallelujah. Mercury stations retrograde. That's just a fancy way of saying Mercury goes retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius on November 25th, and it stations direct on December 15th. You know what, Tay, you should, but I'm tapping back in with sun sign astrology too, like with listening for my sun. I used to only listen for my rising. When I get deep into astrology, of course, I'm stopping when I'm talking about having a side conversation, but now I listen for my sun because I find that the sun can still resonate because it's your core, your essence. It's the luminary, right? The sun and the moon are the two most powerful planets in the chart. So listen to both, okay? But I am listening to my sun. That's why sometimes if you'll be like, okay, if I'm supposed to be listening to my rising, then why does the sun resonate? All right. Okay. And maybe for me, it's because Capricorn is my chart ruler, but sometimes I find that the themes can really resonate to like my hero's journey in my life. All right, so I'm going to stop talking. The retrograde will be impacting who? I don't have it up there. My mutable signs. Retrogrades always impact Gemini and Virgo, right? Because Gemini and Virgo are Mercury ruled. But we also are going to see Sagittarius, of course, be impacted in Pisces. We all feel the energy of Mercury retrograde. Oh, really? I have to look at that, Jules. We are all going to be impacted because we're all in communication with each other, right? All right. So, hey, T. All right. What was I saying? I'm always commenting and then forgetting what I'm saying. What's the Astro T? Mercury rules communication, travel, technology. During a retrograde, there can be breakdowns in communication, computer issues, back up your computer. There can be travel delays. There can be problems with sales and contracts. That's why people will say, hey, don't sign a contract during Mercury retrograde, or don't, buy something major because maybe you live to regret it or there's some kind of issue that happens later. But life is going to life. If you have to sign a lease, if you have to do it, do it. Okay, just double check everything. Also, this retrograde is smack dab in the middle of the holiday travel season. If you're traveling, make sure to check for any delays, any cancellations. The retrograde officially kicks off November 22nd at 22 degrees and 40 minutes of Sagittarius, but it enters the retro shade, like I said, on the 7th of November. Mercury hits 6 degrees and 23 minutes on November 7th, right? So that's the degree that it will eventually retrograde all the way back to. that's when the little pre-shadow or the retro shade starts. All right. We're going to feel that energy during the 2 weeks before and after the retro shade. All right. It's the pre and the post shadow. Some people feel like the pre-retrograde is stronger than the retrograde. I don't know. You guys have to let me know. Mercury will finally leave the retro shade on January 2nd. Peace out. Yay. Let's go. All right, let's talk about Mercury and Sagittarius real quick. Mercury is in detriment in Sagittarius. What does that mean? The planet isn't happy in this sign. It does sound like it's going to be chaotic because think about it. Sagittarius is travel, like long distance travel. All right, Mercury is travel. Mercury transit Sagittarius, we're thinking big. Hey, Isis, we're all about the big picture, and that can lead to blind spots in our vision. We can skip over the details. It's going to go from 22 degrees to 6 degrees, Sagittarius, Jules. All right, we can be so focused, hey, Bree, on our like view of the world that we're missing out on things. We're literally just skipping the details, okay? I like Mercury and Sagittarius for storytelling. Shout out to my Mercury and Sagittarius people because you can really go crazy with the stories. But because Jupiter, Sagittarius's ruling planet, expands everything that it touches, sometimes it can be hard to tell if you are capping, okay? If it's Mercury and Sagittarius, right? If you're lying, all right, I'm just going to keep it real because it could be a tall tale that's being told, all right? Yeah, for real. Mercury is going to be in micro braids, that's for sure. All right, so sometimes with Mercury and Sagittarius, we can have exaggerated and over the top points of views, all right? And then sometimes the people that are around may not be able to tell like what's fact and what's fiction with that Mercury in Sagittarius. Mercury is our mind, it's our thoughts, it's how we process information. When Mercury is in Sagittarius, we're thinking about traveling, right? We're thinking about learning new things, all right? But maybe we should be planning traveling when it goes retrograde. Adventure, expanding our horizons, either through like knowledge, learning something new, going into a course, you know, a classroom, or taking a trip, essentially. Oh yeah, that's why they're saying the election is going to be tricky and we might not know the results for a while. And there's just so much with the election. Okay. So much astrology. Right, we're thinking about jet setting with Mercury and Sag, right? We want to learn new things. We're contemplating the meaning of life. What does this existence mean? We're feeling philosophical. We're also tapping into our faith and spirituality. We could be ready for a leap of faith with Mercury and Sag. Now, Mercury and Sag is very blunt and honest, so we can feel like the need to speak our truth. This can get tricky during a retrograde because maybe it's misunderstood by someone else, so keep that in mind. We can be more optimistic in our thinking, but to the point of delusion, right? We can be a little too delulu. These are Mercury and Sag vibes. So what are Mercury and Sag retrograde vibes? Retrogrades are all about the reflect, revisit, revise, renew, whatever, relax. I like to throw that in there. Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius can have us questioning the meaning of life. We may be contemplating what this human existence all means. Maybe we go back and revisit old spiritual or religious beliefs or practices. Maybe you're like, I don't even know what I believe in, and it's time for me to like tap back in with my faith. This is a good time to do that, and also to just find hope and optimism. Do you believe that your dreams can come true? I do. I think I do. Maybe it's time to even switch up your vision and set your sight on something new. Like maybe those old goals and dreams you have for yourself, they no longer resonate. On a day-to-day vibe, we could have some travel setbacks, right? It's also better to plan a trip versus travel. Now I'm saying this, I know a lot of people are going to holiday travel. Just keep it in mind. I'm definitely thinking, especially if you're flying overseas or you're going somewhere overseas, be prepared. Okay? With Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, if you have to go or if you're going, just prepare for possible delays. Don't worry because people always travel during a retrograde. It's not like the biggest deal. On December 5th, Mercury retrograde is Cazimi, the sun. That means Mercury enters the heart of the sun. Mercury is reborn again, right? The sun kind of burns Mercury, but in a good way. All right, pause. Mercury Cazimi, this is an inferior Cazimi because this is a retrograde, right? Yeah. Oh, she did? Wait, is she waiting to see what happens with the election? Are you mad? I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay, Desiree, I'm going to ask you that afterwards. Okay. When the Kazemi is inferior, we're reflecting on our past progress. All right. When it comes to our ideas and our big plans, there could be some kind of clarity or insight that you gain around December 5th because your mind is being purified. No, I'm very curious to know about that because I'm like, then I'm just thinking about, we have a meeting tomorrow about a holiday EP, and I'm like, are people not going to be in the Christmas mood? Insane. Okay, I'm going to start with the horoscopes. Philip, you're not even here, but Philip told me the horoscopes were very short last week, and they were, you guys. I was actually fighting for my life, but they're a little longer this time. Okay, so let's go. I think, let me take a sip of water. Ooh, excuse me. Hey, she. All right, Aries, we are starting with Aries. Are you a believer, Rams? Do you trust that the universe is conspiring to make your dreams come true? I was, Isis. It's time to reflect what this thing called life means to you, and the answers may come to you through the help of someone you meet. This could be somebody that's from a different background or culture than you. You may be thinking of a big vision or a dream destination to visit and forget to get an oil change. I know, right? You can't be bothered with that. It's hard to focus on the daily tasks because your mind is on wide open spaces. You might be contemplating going back to school or finally writing that self-help manifesto. Maybe the time is now to tackle those dreams deferred. Aries mantra for Mercury retrograde and Sagittarius. I am open to the wisdom of the universe. And so it is. Hey, Hazel. Taurus, stop living in fear over finances or over your finances or even your intimate relationships, bulls. Money comes and goes. It has to flow. That's why it's called a currency. Trust and believe that the universe will always provide for you and you will never be without. Yes. Review your financial goals and come up with a plan to make them a reality. If you are, hey Ryan, if you are tired of rehashing the same old traumas over and over again, maybe it's time for therapy. Book that sesh to release that childhood baggage. You can transform your pain into power. But the first step is believing you can and even admitting that there is lingering pain. If I could talk. Taurus mantra for Mercury retrograde and Sagittarius. I grow my faith and shrink my fears. Gemini, what's up with your personal partnerships, twin? Are the lines of communication open between you and your beloved or even your boss, right? Because partnerships can be romantic or they could be business. Be patient with yourself and others, and also be clear with your words, because you could find that the lines are crossed and it leads to a rift. Are you being supportive in your connections, or do you feel drained by the demands of others? It's a good time to come up with a new strategy when it comes to your relationships. How can you make time for yourself and your bestie, boo, and bro too? Gemini mantra for Mercury retrograde and Sagittarius. I believe that I am worthy of healthy relationships. Yes, the Gemini moons, boy, those minds are always active. How do you do it? Sorry, it's amazing to me. Cancer, is your 9 to 5 doing too much, crabbies? Hey, Ty, are they stressing you out on your job? Don't let them. This period could be a busier time for you, and you may feel like you're on the verge of burnout. I'm not even a Cancer, but gang, don't be afraid to use that PTO, because F that job. I'm just saying. Okay. There could be a tussle with a coworker, but take the high road and save email receipts for HR. Again, I'm just saying, okay, keep your receipts. Maybe you feel like work is taking a toll on your body. If that's the case, maybe yoga or meditation is a good idea if you can't just up and quit your job. Oh, sorry, Isis. If you love your job, well, I love that for you, okay? Maybe you declutter your desk or come up with a schedule that better serves you. Cancer mantra for Mercury retrograde and Sagittarius. I banish burnout and embrace rest. Yes, we all should embrace that, especially with Mars going retrograde, right? Next month. No, December. Well, almost next month. Leo. An ex may spin the block, but don't let that op pop back up in your life. Old romantic flings can resurface, so make sure you have them blocked. Okay? If you are spoken for, your baby boo may be working your nerves during this time. Be patient with your sweetheart. What do you do for fun, Lions? Maybe you feel torn between getting ish done and doing hood rat things with your friends. I know that's right. Maybe it's time for a new type of fun. What makes your inner child happy with joy? An old hobby may be just the thing to get you out of a funk. Reconnect with something that you truly love. And I'm not talking about an ex. Don't go back to your ex, okay, Leo? Maybe it's singing, drawing, or even pottery making. I just threw that in there. Leo mantra for Mercury retrograde and Sagittarius. I open myself up to joy and creativity. Yes, and so it is. No, I'm sure you like your job, but just watch out. It could be like a small rift with a coworker. That's miscommunication. Virgo, family feuds and fights are always awful, Virgo. I know that's right. So let's try to keep the peace on the home front. Now, there may be some kind of issue from the past that pops back up and you feel the need to speak up and out about it. It could be of an emotional nature and we want that to be healed. Yes, we do. But if you're thinking about debating your red hat wearing uncle, shade, no shade, on the presidential race, then think again, okay? Think twice. You can acknowledge your loved one's opinions and don't have to be dogmatic about your own beliefs. If there's any repairs that need to be made in your home, don't hold off on getting them taken care of or at least looked at, right? Virgo mantra for Mercury retrograde and Sagittarius. My family may not always agree on everything, but we work through our differences with respect and understanding. A lot of people are going to need to be respectful during this election time. Libra, the retrograde is testing your diplomacy, Libra. We know you love to keep the peace, but you may want to go toe-to-toe with a friend, sibling, or even a neighbor during this time. It can all be a misunderstanding, right? Mercury retrograde, miscommunication. So before you pop off, make sure you have all the facts, all right? Don't be afraid to stand your ground. Jules, I'm done. Your mind could be all over the place during the retrograde with this project here and there. This is Libra rising. If you aren't careful, you can get nothing accomplished. That sounds great. This actually is a great time for some kind of mind game like Sudoku. Do people still play that? It's also a good time to reflect on your mindset and how you speak to yourself. You're so amazing, Libra. Remind your negative self-talk of that. Yes. Okay. Hey, Miss Parker. Right. Thank you. Yes, Roger's abandoned me. Okay. Roger, where are you? Scorpio. What do you value, Scorpio? What means the world to you? It may not be something that money can buy. Pow. I like Sudoku too, Jules. It's a good time to reflect on the things in your life that are priceless. A gratitude practice is always a good idea. Yes, I'm going to tap back in with one. What's up with your money? Are you saving for a check engine light day? I'm wishing none of you have a check engine light day. Hey, Meredith, happy Sunday. Do you have money in your bank account or do you have it hanging in your closet? Mercury retrograde in your money house doesn't have to be an unexpected bill popping up, but it can be. Okay, it can also be an invoice that is finally paid or some missing money comes back to you. I love that for you. I hope you receive that missing money. If you can hold off, don't make any major purchases. You may regret that splurge when Mercury is direct. I'm dead, dear. Scorpio mantra for Mercury retrograde and Sagittarius. There is so much abundance in my life, and for that, I am grateful. Money is coming to us all now. Sagittarius, Mercury is retrograde in your sign, Saggies. It could feel like your whole world is upside down, but know that it won't last forever. It could be harder to be understood and get your point across during this time. There can be some disruptions, delays, and upsets in your daily life. Be patient with yourself and everyone around you. I know that's right. This is a good opportunity to reflect on any goals and what you really want out of life. Oh, yeah, you should definitely take it to the mechanic at least before Mercury retrograde or when Mercury starts to go retrograde. Oh, sorry. Maybe you don't feel connected to your old vision and it's time for a new outlook and attitude. There could be a second chance that pops back up on an old project. Make sure your heart is still in it before you take it. Okay, Mercury retrograde can also bring back old work. It doesn't have to just bring back exes, right? Sagittarius mantra for Mercury retrograde and Sagittarius. I calmly think of solutions to any issues that arise. And so it is. Hey, Izzy. Capricorn, thinking about that op from a decade ago that wronged you and cost you a bag, Cappy? Yes, I am, actually. Let it go. We are off the past, but maybe first we need an Ebenezer Scrooge moment. Maybe you're having revisionist history. Maybe things are hazier than normal. Whatever happened in the past is the past. It's over. It's time to forgive and let go. I can't, Stedman. I hope I can. I'm going to answer that as soon as I finish. Your dreams can be more vivid during this time, but don't let your mind be overtaken by fantasies. You might feel physically and energetically drained. Take time to rest and relax. It's a retrograde after all. Relax, relate, release. My Gen Xers know that one. That's from Different World. It's the end of a cycle. Give it one last glimpse and say peace out forever. You did. Capricorn mantra for Mercury retrograde and Sagittarius. I forgive those who hurt and wronged me in the past. And so it is. You did come in time for Aquarius. 2 people said they missed Cancer, so I will go over that. 1 second. Aquarius. Friends may be feeling like foes, Aquas. I know that's right. But it might be a misunderstanding. So before you cut off your A1 since day one, make sure you have all the facts. Remember, Mercury retrograde, we may not have all the facts. And you aren't misinterpreting what was said or what even happened. Your friends aren't the only ones getting a side eye. You could be questioning your dreams and if they really align with who you are anymore. Maybe you're off that one wish that you held on to for so long, okay? It's okay to switch up your goals. Nothing is worse than pursuing a vision that doesn't align with who you are anymore, right? Why? On the flip side, you could revisit an aspiration from a long time ago and even reconnect with an old friend that you've really been missing. That sounds amazing. Aquarius mantra for Mercury retrograde and Sagittarius. My dreams only come alive if I take a chance on them. Pisces. What's up with the career update, Pisces? Are you over the current profession? It's not giving anymore. Or is it not giving anymore? I shouldn't say it isn't. I don't know what it's giving, right? You should pay attention to your sun and your rising. And then if you were born at night or you really resonate with your moon. So I'd say sun. Well, I'd say rising sun, moon. Okay, sorry. Let's start over with Pisces. Pisces, what's the career update, Pisces? Are you over the current profession? Is it not giving anymore? Or maybe you aren't sure of what you want to do with your life. I know that's right. Success isn't the same for everyone, so don't feel the need to chase. We don't chase, we attract, okay? By the way, someone else's definition of achievement and advancement. Maybe success to you starts to look, feel, and sound different than it did before. And I love that for you, Pisces. You could consider going back to an old job or even reconnecting with former colleagues to plug you with some new connects. There may be a hiccup between you and the higher ups at your present gig. Keep those email receipts in case you need to hit up HR. I love to go to HR. Pisces mantra for Mercury retrograde and Sagittarius. My life gets better by change and not by chance. And so it is. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Have a good week. Good night.